This is a battery-operated button and switch box that I made for my grandson Luca because he loves buttons and switches. While I was at it, I made a second one for my grandnephew Ronan, who's just one. Grandson is two. So I looked at a lot of places online and saw some examples that other, usually fathers, had done. Didn't find any grandfather work. So in this first row, we have two buttons that are in series, and then the rest are in parallel. I wanted to do all of them in series, but my battery pack here only puts out 6 volts. And to do these in series, I would have needed 11 volts. But it's okay as is, 2 in series and the rest just regular. Here we have a rotary switch, 6 position. First is off. All the colors of LEDs that I have. These LEDs, by the way, are 5 millimeter. Next here we have a voltmeter. You can turn it on, or you can turn it on and also use the dimmer switch to change the voltage. Over here we have a different kind of LED. This is they call it an RGB LED, red, green, and blue. So there are 3 diodes in this one. So that's what it looks like, red. So it looks like blue and green. And here, all the rest of these are momentary switches, except these are push on, push again for off. So you can also play with mixing colors. Red and blue makes purple. Up here we have 4 more buttons with the 5 millimeter LEDs. The difference being you can unplug the power to all of these and move them around. So we'll put the green plug, green cord in the red. We'll put the blue over here and the green. Put the yellow in the blue. We'll put the red in the yellow. Now what's going to happen? Press green and you get a red light. Press yellow, you get blue. Blue, you get green, etc. So they can play around with plugging and unplugging. And here, this is my favorite. I found this button online with a bugle in it. So of course that's designed to make some sound. So you press it and nothing happens. That's because I thought it might be interesting to require 2 buttons to get a reaction. So when you press the bugle button, nothing happens. You press this lone black button, nothing happens. But when you press both of them, you get a tone. And then my wife and I put in an alarm system 40 years ago in our house. And I happen to have one window contact. And I have this magic wand. So if you place the magic wand just near the alarm sensor, you turn on the blue LED and this RGB LED. So one of the sites that I looked at, the guy recommended using some cardboard. I used some mat board and kind of laid things out the way I thought they should look, and kind of, played around with it, moved them around a little bit. And then I used an awl and I punched through where I wanted the various things to be. You can see this is the rotary switch. So this was helpful. I would recommend that. Here are three essential tools: wire stripper, needle nose, and wire clippers. Here are some of the buttons that I ordered. Here is the RGB LEDs. Here are the traditional LEDs. You can't just buy single LEDs. And notice that to make things more challenging for you, the red and the yellow require 2 to 2.2 volts, while the white, blue, and green require 3 to 3.2. So you can calculate the resistance, but I just went online and found this resistance calculator, and my higher voltage LEDs require 200 ohm. I'm sorry, require 150, and the others require 200 ohm. And I use mostly 20 gauge wire, where I had to wrap the wire around things like the LED legs. I used 24 gauge, a little more flexible. And by the way, in standard LEDs, the longer leg is the positive one. And of course, in this RGB, the longer one is the negative, and then you have 3 others that correspond to the colors. So let's go take a look inside. This is the back of the voltmeter. Here's the dimmer switch. Here's the sensor for the alarm system that requires a magnet to activate it. The rotary switch. Here's one of the RGB LEDs, and the other one is right here, but it's only connected to the blue. And here are banana plugs. So that's basically it. I had a lot of fun. Oh, here's the piezo. This is where the sound comes from, this little piezo buzzer. And I'll give you a close-up of some resistors that are soldered in. Oh, and I had a kind of clunky old soldering iron, and Santa, in the form of my son-in-law, brought me this adjustable heat soldering iron, which is very helpful. So I will include in this video links to where I got all of my stuff, which of course came from Amazon. That's it.